Hey guys, Bulletin25 here, back with another World of Warships video, this time in the Tier 8 French battleship Richelieu. I hope I pronounced that correctly, probably didn't. I do not speak as a French. Now, once again, this is another case of I have no idea why I saved this. But I did. Of course, Richelieu, all forward gun armament. I believe those are 15-inch guns. I believe she served with the Free French forces, hence the Free French naval flag there. The reason for, by the way, the development of that Free French naval flag was because there were still some ships that, of course, basically Vichy France existed, and they still had ships, and those still flew the French flag, so the Allies needed a way to discern, well, the Allies, British and Americans. I don't really think the Soviets really mattered, because I don't think they had much naval encounters with anyone, other than using theirs as basically floating artillery batteries. Where was I going with this again? Oh yeah. So the Allies needed to know there was which French were on their side and which weren't. So that's where that ensign came from. Terribly sorry. I need to drink a lot when I'm yapping. So yeah, two ships of this class were built. Richelieu, which was finished, well, basically, I think finished before the fall of France, at least. And then Jean Bart, which wasn't, and it was only finished post-war. And I think she was only scrapped in 76 or something, so she was probably one of the last battleships around, other than the Iowas. The reason these ships had all forward armaments was because they were meant to be engaging, basically. Well, the Dunkirk, I'm just going to pronounce it the Dunkirk class, were designed specifically to counter the Deutschland class. Heavy cruiser? Well, Panzerschiff. Let's go with the German definitions. The German names, the Panzerschiffs. Yeah, I don't think I fired those off because I realised I would just shoot the mountain. So I don't know. I think these were either built to counter the Romas, like in the Mediterranean, or potentially the Bismarcks. Basically, they knew they needed to be fast. All over Pence, and accidentally ramming a Charles Martel. They do have, like, these ships do have pretty decent, by the looks of it, secondaries. And I think at this one I did notice the Massachusetts and tried to turn away, but that is a Massachusetts, right? Yeah. I'm going to swing away, but I am a much longer ship, therefore it takes me longer to turn inside the Massachusetts. So now we've got... oh no. Right, so the secondaries are now firing at that destroyer. Surprised that middle turret hasn't decided on anything to engage yet. Now yes. Hello, Prince Eugen. Or, well, I don't know if that's an Eugen or the Hipper. Yeah, it's an Eugen. Get Citadel, boy. I don't know if those torpedoes were aimed at me. But I don't, those probably are, and at this point I'm thinking, right, what is my best chance to avoid these? Sail in a straight line and try to outrun them, and then, okay, that's awfully close, I am going to take that hit. Oof. Right in the steering gear. Ah. Hello, Eugen. Boom boom. Bye bye. 1 over penetration. Sank him. What DD is that? That's the Erland, so that's one new. Pan-European ones. Definitely got tier 6 on that, because I'm not spending money on that. Ah, well, that's not good for him. He is deaded. Oh no, he survived. Ooh. With the shot Mattel survived. Surprising. You see, these turrets do actually have pretty decent firing arcs. I'm talking about the secondaries. Primary armament does as well. See, and I'm turning to try to get back in range of everything else. And this is where being French comes in useful. Turbo mode activate. Also, just ignore what the thing at the slide says. I am actually at full power. Also, interesting thing, this is the A hull, and the easiest way to tell is that this thing has the float plane on it, and the catapults for said float plane. In reality, in the B hull, you don't have that. You just have a bunch of AA defenses. Right, so our Chicago took out the Albemarle. I'm just sailing in a straight line, trying to keep as much speed as I possibly can. Also, I'm helping cap this place. "13", but I think that would drop when the Massachusetts gets in. Oh, that's a Bayern. Boom, 10k. There we go. And of course, the good thing about this is you can deliver broadsides. Basically the entire armament, while being very angled and also while chasing down your target. Which is very useful, even if you only manage to land over pence. And the good thing about doing that is the shells are probably less spread out, because they're not spread out by the length of the hull of the ship you're shooting from. Because that does have an impact on it. Probably a bit more vertical dispersion. As you can see, without all these turrets are pretty much pointed almost directly forwards. Who am I shooting at? Oh, probably the Massachusetts there. I mean, I'm doing decent damage and nobody seems to be shooting at me. Now that one detected, right? Well, then again, I don't know if that's the one detected, because I'm obviously detected. The one I've... Basically, watch this space. Just look over in this direction. This one time I was thinking, right, okay, there's Byron. Boom, boom, boom. Is that the guy? No, that's a Fuso. I'm getting some vague recollection of how the battle went. I think the... never mind. No, I think the enemy CV might have been over there, that's why I looked over. Yeah, that! Just... Oh! What that is a Vladivostok. I mean, I'm currently going to open fire on the Bayern because he's there. And I did do a decent chunk of damage, but now let's turn our attention to Mr. Russian Man. That's not his username, obviously, but... Okay, I just ate a torpedo. I do not want to get caught in a situation like this because, well, I've just lost half of my primary armament. And I definitely don't want to run aground. I, of course, do continue to put fire on him, just... Yeah, and I proceed to eat 2 torpedoes, and I no longer have a I don't have a heal I can use. Can you guess where this is going, boys and girls? Well, Well, just shatter that guy's shells. Just bow tanking to the max. Hey, shit, you son of a bitch. So I had to wait that 5 seconds so I could deliver a full salvo, essentially, or almost. Oh, and then I almost miss. Right? I almost just miss him. It's like, oh no. Nudge. You can see our like the ships basically separated afterwards, and now they're just going to kind of keel over onto each other. So yeah, do not mess with the speedy Frenchies. I'm Version 25. That was Battle in the Richelieu. Goodbye.